Hey there, Joy of the World friends and family. I am Joy, here to take an intuitive peek into the collective energies going on around us. There is some fugmuggery that has been going on with all these planets getting clustered up. But I tell you, this tale is older than time and it spins yet again. We're going to pick up on the energy that's going on around us, because what could be seen as intensity can also be translated into excitement, into fervency, into readiness. And we also, as I realized, need to open up Scorpio. Scorpio, bigger than just the zodiac or the whole zodiac, right? It has to do with the South Node, the letting go. And they're wanting me to open it so that we can begin to flow. That flow can be restored, that it doesn't have to keep being this consciousness, this amming, this choosing, this deciding which side is right, which is wrong, where am I at? That whole cheese grater, the whole sieve, the whole trying to figure out this now thing that's going on. But they're wanting to get us into the middle of it. They're saying, let love in. It's time to get a move on in that area, to let down your defenses and let love in. They're ready to get a move on. You see, these two horses, which are the halves of the mind, get together in one wholeness here with the coach. And you see, you don't want to be trapped inside. You want to get to your nature, your natural love that flows freely, that you know you're well provided for and prosperous, and you're taking in the goodness of life. And whatever you don't need just takes its way on out with gravity, and the mother, the earth, recycles it for us into some sweet goodness to feed our roots and bring in new fruits. Okay, so we're wanting to get in a juicy dive here. This is a little bit of the prelim of what might sometimes spit out while I'm getting the cards ready for us. But this is where they're talking about drop your defenses. This need to feel like you've got to protect yourself, to have a bright, sunny, clear, cheery attitude, bright day, that type of thing. They're like, let it go, because it's in being true to yourself, your personal healing and happiness, that's where you get the strength and the delicateness from. Not like, oh, don't touch me, but know that every day is a moment of its own to get into expectancy as opposed to experience. They're wanting us to experience life, but that old adage of gaining experience, well, they want to roll that into wisdom. Wisdom weighs nothing, plasma, effortless, light, easy to carry. So that's where they wanted to drop the defenses, this need to attain and possess. It can divide you, and they're saying quarantine you off. So like quarantine, I guess separate you, isolate you, that type of thing. But they're wanting to get you back into communion, community, this juiciness, this vibrancy, this expectancy, the eyes wide open. Excuse me if I was weaving off the page. Who needs to see my face anyway? So let's get a little bit of Tattoo Tarot. Okay, they're wanting to step in, bottom 5 of Wands. Ooh, bringing it together in all kinds of weather, because you don't need that fair weather or fair weather friends, fair weather lovers, fair weather family, fair weather self. This is the strength that's wanting to come in, and not something that we have to prove or have proof of. It's indelible. It's the mark on our soul. Ooh, 4 Cups coming on in. You want to see some abundancy. I love whoever's creative at this channel. Showing up, making all your words. We got this double up going with the 9 of Wands and the 4 of Cups, about measuring up and having too much, but really not enough. It's having to do with the measure, okay? So this love that's coming in is without measure. You can't see the ends of it here. And that's kind of the new Hierophant, the freedom, the liberation, the liberty and justice, moving around this dynamic celestial energy that we have going on. Okay, so this is the other double up going on. So, okay. These are the two parties involved, and now love can be parent-child. It can have to do with any two-way street, any relationship that we have, of clearing out any resistance or snags or all these communication difficulties that could be going on, coming in from that Saturn. And then we have Jupiter doing a little shiz-diz over there. So let's see how we can attain our liberation from those limitations, the boundaries. Whoop. Well, that took care of it. They're like, examine what is going on inside that code. Okay, we're wanting to get a rune on this, so pardon me while I walk, y'all. I already tried to record, and just the sitting brought on some serious issues, and I got sick. So we're going to step in this way. So these may be more brief than usual for a while, but that doesn't mean that you are shortchanged in any way. This is interesting. is wanting to talk about desires fulfilled, but you need to dissolve fears. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about dissolving fears, moving on up, progress, increase. So this is talking about moving forward, taking a walk. Walking can clear your mind. Let's get a little harmony on this, and we'll get an affirmator to come in with it about this dispelling fears. All right. Someone turn your world upside down. Talk about being receptive. Okay, receptive to heaven's infilling, heaven's indwelling. Some Holy Spirit action going on, and that's not affiliated with any religion. That's why it's called holy. It is pure, and it is one size fits all, and all fits the one. They're bringing you into the center of your golden self, and they're asking you to oblige the presence. The presence of what? Balance. That's what's going on here. No more lines, no more fence, no more delineation. It's coming in the fullness thereof, that the team works together. All for one, one for all. All right, so let's get that affirmative with it. I see you trying to peek out. Ten of Swords, dead, done, gone, what? This old deceit. This is what's lingering around under there and trying to figure it the F all out. They're like, that's what rises up this hostility in the tilting of the moon. This is not the balance that we're wanting to come in anymore, because you have to move here and move there and go here and go there, because that's what the moon is. It's relative. It's relative to our position, but the moon and the sun are always looking at each other directly. The thing that puts it through its phases is based on a magnetic gravitational pull from where we're at. It moves that little finger hair, makes the scales start tipping this way or that, but that's why they're talking about coming into your whole self. This balance, getting a move on. What? In love with yourself, the roca. See that key hole? It also has a key, and that love opens the door. A love-shaped key. For what? To get you into the wholeness of your moon, not just the fullness. Not always having to try and figure it out, remeasure and recalibrate. No, get together with yourself. I love that. So I want to get a something a little sticky going on here. Some Page of Pentacles. Okay, so we got some low-level money issues and a love of money. And it's not like I'm going any of that. No, y'all. It's not of. It's just and. Both. Yeah. So that they get untangled, right? You don't have to choose one or the other. It's the divine dance of life coming on in. That's the crosshair. It's almost like they're talking about, what do you want to focus on? No more of the seeing things flat. Seeing things from the splat. How we landed in this world. Where our parents, our address, our skin color, our hair color, our financial disposition, whatever. They're talking about, let's lift that up. How do we lift this up? What do we lift it up with? Who have we got wanting to talk up in here? All right, so we're going to get you a little nature, a little earth animal divination going in here to join in with your spirit, adding strength and energy. Ant, rhinoceros, and deer. Talking about bringing the highest love. I see it. So all these cosmic energies being able to have all dimensions at once in both resonance, harmony. I don't even know what all else yet, and I'm not going to pretend I do. So that's what's coming in. We have the ant, we have the rhinoceros, and we have the deer, the divinity. That's actually what's going on here. Being in alignment with yourself. That this wisdom, that this celebration of life that you have endured. Some of you have been through a long journey here to come into the master of yourself, the Rokai, and to be able to let it flow, to let it go. That doesn't mean go goodbye. That means let it flow, let it go. Let gravity take care of this. Let who you are and your connection with your divine self begin to clean out that Scorpio. Take out the waste, take out the trash, do it for you. Don't refuse that trash service. Be like, yes, please. And trust and know that you're plenty. It's not about the measuring. It's not about the enoughing. It's not about the phase of the moon. It is about the whole moon, the whole earth, the whole you, okay? The moon has to do with our consciousness, with the layers going this way, the frontal, the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. They're wanting us to be in the harmony with ourselves and with the halves too. How do I know? Rhinoceros is showing up here. This is the day and the night, the this or that, the left or the right. It's coming on in, because that's how we get momentum, and that's how we get the move on. We get the groove on by not having to consciously live. this and that and think that we're going to run it like God. God's the divine one, y'all. The wholeness, the sphericalness of life, the day and the night, the arteries and the veins, the yes and the no, the in and the out, the and. That's what they're wanting to tie it together with. And it's funny because they're like ant. It's the and. It says cooperate for the highest good of the community. And not just those around you. When you are in your goldenest self, that's what we're seeing here, that it powers up the whole ship, what your relationship with yourself, with love, with the divine one, with your truth. And your truth overtakes your reality. If any of you've read The Velveteen Rabbit, it's when the Velveteen Rabbit becomes real. It's when the whole world around knows who you are and you know who they are. Because there's no shame, no hiding, no chameleon, no adjusting, no adapting, no survival. You get into the thrive, and it seems that there's something else that was left behind with the Chariot and it's that Page of Pentacles still there. All right, you talk about wanting to get in to have a little fun, a little fruitiness, some fruit, not just the root. Okay, wanting to get some return from that. All right, the love and the money. What would be the return on that? So let's ask that question. What would be the return on that? All right. We're going to get with the affirmators now. What would be the return on this if we choose to trust, believe in love and money? And that's Venus, by the way. And that's Taurian energy. It's trusting your head, your authority, trusting yourself. Talk to us about this divine wisdom, this thing that there are no mistakes. It's all coming together. And we don't have to figure out that there is an experience of life waiting to happen. Five of Wands, getting it together right now over me. Okay? Talking about your divine self to yourself and getting in the knowledge of that. Change your outlook. Change of outlook. Because it's mine also. I sit on the other side of this lens and watch these videos back because when my mouth is running, we don't hear very well. And that's for many of us. We're often trying to be heard, but are we listening? Are you listening? Am I listening? We're listening for that still small voice. That's what's going on here in the 33. Love. Love. I know which one to get for that. Love, what would you like to say to us? We're going to get the True Heart Tarot over here. Kind of nifty that I'm standing up on my 2 feet. Queen of Wands. Talking about some Shiva energy, doing the dance of life. For what? Time to wake the dead. The who dead as a doornail. Hold your breath till you turn blue. And it's never going to happen for you. Staying on the outside, looking in. But again, that goes back to that division, that separation, that weighing it out, the trying to consciousness, but they're wanting us to get into our amness. The amness of what? The Fool and the Emperor. Absolute surrender, and they're talking about serenity. And it's funny because serendipity was also showing up as well, and it tried to take a dive, and it's like we're coming in anyway. Whether we have to come up through your feet or through your head, we are going to bless you. And that's the thing, it's all perfect, well, and good. So let this love in. Let the love of the flame that burns, the eternal spherical. Somebody's stuck in a shame game. So let's clear out that shame, okay? Because that's false judgment, that's ill judgment, out of balance judgment trying to come in and weigh based on these old mindsets. So if you would like to be free from that shame, just go ahead and take a deep breath right now and let's clear it out. Breathe in. And breathe out with a sigh. Do it again. Just let it out from your body. Breathing in, trusting the inhale. In the exhale, that's the life and death that we're talking about here. Because see, we've taken the tiger by the tail. What is that? The nodes. Because they spin counterclockwise trying to get us moving around. That if we get slightly off balance, it can become chaotic really quick. And they're not wanting you to judge yourself on the decisions that you've made. You made the best of it that you could for what you knew at that time. And we're not trying to master in the sense of gaining enough experience to teach everybody, to teach ourselves, to solve the crack the code, the this and that. No, remember? Is that still small voice? That's the only thing trying to be found, discovered here. And when we do, we trust that Metatron Sandalphon energy with all those records to carry it all back here, and that we know where we're coming from because we have that support. We have this guidance, this intuition, this trusting ourselves, the getting into the true Scorpio, the eyes, the alignment of our spine, our divinement. Okay, so let's get, what is that, Angelarium on that, because they were always the ones talking and teaching us about those eyes. And this is the support to come on the end. And then we'll check out those couple of affirmators over here. Gavura, left hand judgment. Tiferet, heart and beauty. So you might not see them, but I'm putting these down here on it so that they do the medicine, doing the energy work as we're walking through this, because we can't know what we know until we know it. So we're doing the unknowable. That's very much what Scorpio is going to be about this whole year, doing the unknowable. It is knowable. Excuse me, the unknown. It is knowable. How when we walk forward, and that's what you're talking about with those runes, letting spirit come in and fill you up so that you can move forward in it. Into the halves, into the delineation, no. Into the spherical, into the knowingness, into the center of oneself, where the light turns on, the eyes align, and that's where the Gavura, the left hand of judgment, and Tiferet, the heart of beauty, are coming together. There's a saying, it says, don't let your, let's see, I think I have to switch them for y'all to see it. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. It means there's enough going on here, and we have to trust ourselves every day. There's a bit of knowing and a bit of going, a bit of the feeling, the imagination, and the beauty working together here. And what brings it all together is Malkuth, the ground. You have 2 feet, but you stand in one location. Being at one with yourself. That when chaos, division, up and down, all those changes begin to feel, and you begin to feel that things are spinning out of balance, take that breath. It's simple, but that's my advice here. Take that breath, because then your divinity turns on. Your mind clears a space for a moment. What? Your head space, your heart space right around you, that you can begin to hear the still small voice wanting to talk to you, because it does want to bring forth the fruit from the root. The love and the money, aka reward. The investment and the return. Chiron, Rokai, Ophiuchus, knowing the end from the beginning. Trusting yourself. So let's take a look at these few cards and see what we've got going on. Okay, for one, what has had you in the bunker is this 9 of Swords. Which way do we go, George? What do we do, George? How do we know what to do, George? It's that monkey mind of spinning round and round, and that's what is happening. And just begin to acknowledge, okay, that's what's happening. Somewhere life is slightly out of balance. But if I look at that, I'm out of balance, not the world is spinning out of control, this bad thing is happening. Take that moment and breathe, and it brings it into the now. It takes the power away from the future and the past, where the mind begins to bounce and ping, trying to find out your location, and instead locating yourself. Where? Through your breath. Through that spiritual connection, the Holy Spirit, your whole self. Put the W on that, baby, and make it W-H-O-L-E. They're talking about the Shama. Wow. I'll let you know more about that if I find out the Shama. It's making me think of like the shaman, the student and the teacher being complete within oneself. So we have the 4 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords. And that has been based on past experience, that it is too little or too much. It's having to do with the enough, the up and down, the fluctuation. Some of you, flatulation is like things that don't agree with you going on the inside. Because when it begins to feel chaotic, it's reaching out for other people's advice and spilling the pieces and parts of the story that are supporting the way you're feeling at the moment. When if you were spinning out of control, I would pray for your car to come to rest. Not the accident, not locating where you're at, just that weighted energy not be measured, and it just dissipate out and it come to rest. Resting on the rock of truth. Resting on the rock of truth. So let's get into some ancient wisdom here, along with Fire Brother. The rock of truth, I see you. So the rock of truth is what? It's the 3 and the 7, bringing it into the wholeness, taking the tiger by the tail, coming to peace, rest with yourself from the works of earning, of laboring, of the enoughing, of trying to satisfy the mind, because they're talking about there are too many things going on around you. Y'all, we're in this world, but we're not of it. We don't come from our parents. We came through them. We came through the atmosphere and we came here. We came from heaven to earth so that we can abide one another. Not in conflict, not always trying to get into compromise or agreement, that type of thing, but getting into the breath, getting into the peace. And they're talking about perfect peace, the center of oneself. That's really what's going on here in the 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Earth. And that powers us up. That powers us up to move through space and time, and it begins to mend all that is. Well, that's a little cliffhanger, because it's up to you. You know what's going on in your life. And my prayers are with you. I love you very much. That's why I tune in here as well to put out these readings and to listen on the other side of the lens with you guys, knowing that we're all in this together. Let's raise your vibration of joy, that you can have the root and the fruit, the investment and the return, not convincing anyone or anything, just by breathing, just by amming. That being who you are, right? That's amming. I love you. We'll talk soon. Leave your comments down below. Maybe wave and say hi. Say you're glad to have me back, so that I will sit or stand to bring us some more readings so that we can get a move on into this new balance of life. I love you. Bye.